Happy Christmas. 25 years ago, my grandfather broadcast the first of these Christmas messages. Today is another landmark, because television has made it possible for many of you to see me in your homes on Christmas Day. My own family often gather round to watch television, as they are at this moment, and that is how I imagine you now. I very much hope that this new medium will make my Christmas message more personal and direct. It's inevitable that I should seem a rather remote figure to many of you, a successor to the kings and queens of history, someone whose face may be familiar in newspapers and films, but who never really touches your personal lives. But now, at least for a few minutes, I welcome you to the peace of my own home. That it's possible for some of you to see me today is just another example of the speed at which things are changing all around us. Because of these changes, I'm not surprised that many people feel lost and unable to decide what to hold on to and what to discard, how to take advantage of the new life without losing the best of the old. But it's not the new inventions which are the difficulty. The trouble is caused by unthinking people who carelessly throw away ageless ideals as if they were old and outworn machinery. They would have religion thrown aside, morality in personal and public life made meaningless, honesty counted as foolishness, and self-interest set up in place of self-restraint. At this critical moment in our history, we will certainly lose the trust and respect of the world if we just abandon those fundamental principles which guided the men and women who built the greatness of this country and Commonwealth. Today, we need a special kind of courage, not the kind needed in battle, but a kind which makes us stand up for everything that we know is right, everything that is true and honest. We need the kind of courage that can withstand the subtle corruption of the cynics, so that we can show the world that we are not afraid of the future. It has always been easy to hate and destroy. To build and to cherish is much more difficult. That's why we can take a pride in the new Commonwealth we are building. This year, Ghana and Malaya joined our brotherhood. Both these countries are entirely self-governing. Both achieved their new status amicably and peacefully. This advance is a wonderful tribute to the efforts of men of goodwill who have worked together as friends. And I welcome these two countries with all my heart. Last October, I opened the new Canadian Parliament. And as you know, this was the first time that any sovereign had done so in Ottawa. Once again, I was overwhelmed by the loyalty and enthusiasm of my Canadian people. Also during 1957, my husband and I paid visits to Portugal, France, Denmark, and the United States of America. In each case, the arrangements and formalities were managed with great skill, but no one could have managed the welcome we received from the people. In each country, I was welcomed as head of the Commonwealth and as your representative. These nations are our friends, largely because we've always tried to do our best to be honest and kindly, and because we have tried to stand up for what we believe to be right. In the old days, the monarch led his soldiers on the battlefield, and his leadership at all times was close and personal. Today things are very different. I cannot lead you into battle. I do not give you laws or administer justice. But I can do something else. I can give you my heart and my devotion to these old islands and to all the peoples of our brotherhood of nations. I believe in our qualities and in our strength. I believe that together we can set an example to the world which will encourage upright people everywhere. I would like to read you a few lines from Pilgrim's Progress, because I'm sure we can say, with Mr. Valiant for truth, these words: "Though with great difficulty I am got hither, yet now I do not repent me of all the trouble I have been at to arrive where I am. My sword I give to him that shall succeed me in my pilgrimage, and my courage and skill to him that can get it. My marks and scars I carry with me, to be a witness for me that I have fought his battles, who now will be my rewarder." I hope that 1958 may bring you God's blessing and all the things you long for. And so I wish you all, young and old, wherever you may be, all the fun and enjoyment and the peace of a very happy Christmas.
I am glad at Christmas time to have this opportunity of speaking directly to all the peoples of the Commonwealth and of sending you my good wishes. My husband and our children, together with the other members of our family, join me in wishing every one of you a happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year. I make no excuse for telling you once again that the kind messages which reach us from all over the world at this season give us great pleasure and encouragement. This year, I was delighted to get so many when my second son was born. The telegrams and letters which came flooding in at that time made me feel very close to all the family groups throughout the Commonwealth. It is this feeling of personal association which gives the peoples of the Commonwealth countries that special relationship, one to another, which others find so difficult to understand. It is because of this that my husband and I are so greatly looking forward to our visits to India and Pakistan early next year, and later on to Ghana, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. By no stretch of the imagination can 1960 be described as a happy or successful year for mankind. Arguments and strained relations, as well as natural disasters, have all helped to produce an atmosphere of tension and uncertainty all over the world. Although the causes are beyond the control of individuals, we can at least influence the future by our everyday behavior. It is at times of change, disorder, and uncertainty that we should cling most strongly to all those principles which we know to be right and good. Civilization as we know it, or would like it to be, depends upon a constant striving towards better things. In times of stress, such as we are living through, only a determined effort by men and women of goodwill everywhere can halt and reverse a growing tendency towards violence and disintegration. Despite the difficulties, there are encouraging signs. For instance, in Africa, Nigeria has gone through the process of achieving full self-government in peace and goodwill. This great nation of 30 million people has decided to remain a member of our Commonwealth, and I know that her influence will be most valuable as the future unfolds in other parts of Africa. Then again, cooperation between Commonwealth countries grows every year, and the understanding and mutual appreciation which is developing at the same time is one of the rarely bright spots in the world today. Although the contribution which any one person can make is small, it is real and important. Whether you live in one of the rapidly developing countries of the Commonwealth, or whether you find yourself in one of the older countries, the work of mutual help and the increase of mutual understanding cannot fail to be personally satisfying and of real service to the future. May the months ahead bring you joy and the peace and happiness which we so much desire. Happy Christmas. God bless you all.
Christmas is a Christian festival which celebrates the birth of the Prince of Peace. At times it is almost hidden by the merrymaking and tinsel. But the essential message of Christmas is still that we all belong to the great brotherhood of man. This idea is not limited to the Christian faith. Philosophers and prophets have concluded that peace is better than war, love is better than hate, and that mankind can only find progress in friendship and cooperation. Many ideas are being questioned today, but these great truths will continue to shine out as the light of hope in the darkness of intolerance and inhumanity. The words, the brotherhood of man, have a splendid ring about them, but the idea may seem too remote to have any practical meaning in this hard and bustling age. Indeed, it means nothing at all unless the brotherhood, starting with individuals, can reconcile rival communities, conflicting religions, differing races, and the divided and prejudiced nations of the world. If we truly believe that the brotherhood of man has a value for the world's future, then we should seek to support those international organizations which foster understanding between people and between nations. The British people, together, have achieved great things in the past and have overcome many dangers. But we cannot make further progress if we resurrect ancient squabbles. The nations belonging to the Commonwealth have in their hands a well-tried framework for mutual help and cooperation. It would be short-sighted to waste this modest step towards brotherhood because we are too busy with the dissensions of the moment. Every individual and every nation have problems, so there is all the more reason for us to do our utmost to show our concern for others. Rich or poor, we all depend upon the work and skill of individual men and women, particularly those in industry and production who are the creators of wealth and prosperity. We depend on new knowledge, invention and innovation, practical improvements and developments, all of which offer us a better life. Yet we should not be obsessed by material problems. We must also be sure that we remain spiritually alive. Everything we do now is helping to shape the world in which our children are going to live. Our young people need all the help and opportunities we can give them to prepare them for the responsibilities which they will soon have to carry. Today, I have spoken of the brotherhood of man, and the hope it holds out for the world. This should not remain a vague thought, nor an abstract idea. Each of us can put it into practice by treating one another with kindness and consideration at all times, and in spite of every kind of provocation. Christmas is a festival of peace. It is God's will that it should be our constant endeavor to establish peace on earth, goodwill towards men. I hope you all have a very happy Christmas and every good fortune in the new year.